Last October, the governments of Canada and British Columbia agreed on a proposed boundary for a National Marine Area Reserve for the Strait of Georgia. The boundaries extend from the southern tip of Gabriola Island all the way to Saanich Inlet, including Cordova Bay, just north of Victoria. However, the Mid-Island Sustainability and Stewardship Initiative hopes it's not too late to have the Nanaimo River Estuary included in that reserve.
They didn't realize the opportunity existed, so now we're just saying, yes, let's get on it, and in the next 6 months we have to seal the deal. When we're just saying, just go another 10 kilometers and you can include one of the biggest river estuaries on Vancouver Island, one of the most significant and important conservation zones, if you like, and incorporate all that in with the coastal waters in the Gulf Islands.
Estuaries account for only 3% of British Columbia's 29,000-kilometre coastline. The Nanaimo River Estuary is Vancouver Island's largest estuary, and in fact, it's the 5th largest in the entire province. There is already a management plan in place under the Ministry of Environment aimed primarily at balancing human activity, economic development, and the environmental health of the estuary. Inclusion in the National Marine Conservation Area would provide some additional protection of the natural assets.
Interesting, Nanaimo Estuary has really been not looked at, nor the river, and so it's one of those hidden treasures that need to be addressed now before there's a lot of development coming in and a lot of people trying to piecemeal or take it apart.
In 1857 there was no one here, and suddenly 30,000 people showed up, and everything that people could see was exploited ruthlessly. And then about 50 years ago, values changed completely, and the kind of restoration you can see beginning here is something that is being carried on now. So the extension of the NMCA is a perfect opportunity to just move that one step forward. And so cheap too, to add to an existing process and start of a new one. Yeah, that's going to save millions of dollars and years and years.
Each MCA must include 2 zones, one that fully protects features or sensitive elements of the ecosystem, and a zone that fosters and encourages ecologically sustainable use of any marine resources in the zone. The intention is to provide a buffer between the protected zone and the unregulated zone.
There's fisheries enhancement and habitat, so we can restore the fisheries and all the money that means, as well as the habitat for the various biodiversity and species. It's both terrestrial, aquatic animals and mammals that live here or have in the past. Bring that back, bring back the shellfish. We can have the log storage still going on here. We don't mind that, and the rest of the industrial activities over in a segmented area, so it doesn't impact here. We've got the tankers and the boats, the cruise lines that might come in. We don't have any issues with that, but we can also have a great ecotourism opportunity here. We can have kayaks and boating and walkers and bird watchers, the Pacific flyways here.
Being a fisherman, I recognize the estuary as a gateway to Nanaimo River, and it's important that we keep that gateway clear for and safe for the salmon that come there and spawn, the steelhead, and even the sea run cutthroat trout that come and feed in the estuary.
That is interesting that it is a more diverse and richer area than either the river or the ocean. That so much life occurs right at the estuary, and that so many are degraded. Like 32 major cities in the world, something like 22 of them are built on estuaries. So there's actually a lack of healthy estuaries.
MISSI is establishing a committee to further the lobbying effort.
That's definitely a really great opportunity for Nanaimo to be in the forefront of estuary preservation, and an example of what can be done, and also an opportunity to learn what a healthy estuary looks like.
Public support is a great thing. Come on out and do a walk around the river and the estuary, have a look yourself, see what a great place it is, and start talking to your elected representatives and your clubs and organizations in the area and say, yeah, we're on for this, and then get part of this, get in touch with us, and we'll all work together and make sure it happens.
The governments are currently studying all of the input gathered from hundreds of meetings and open houses held over the past 8 years to determine whether this National Marine Conservation Area Reserve is practical and desirable. From the Nanaimo River Estuary, for The Daily, I'm Annette Lucas.